Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Alexis Daniels. I'm a functional medicine and mind-body practitioner here at Mamba Sports Academy. Thank you for joining me this morning. I'm so excited to talk to everyone. I can see everyone joining, no questions yet. So I was thinking today, because Wednesday is actually Earth Day, that we would talk about environmental toxins and how that affects our body. We know that it has a huge impact on the earth and all of the ecosystems in the earth, but what people don't realize is it actually has a huge impact on our body. Pretty much everything that is happening to our planet can also be happening to our bodies. And these environmental toxins, these chemicals, these pesticides, these heavy metals, basically slow down our body. They work on enzymes, they work on our cells by slowing down the rate that we can produce energy, that we can have our body make our own hormones and neurotransmitters. So it's such an important thing to look at. So, and I should actually take a step back and maybe people don't know what functional medicine is or what I actually do here at Mamba Sports Academy. So I'm a functional medicine practitioner, chiropractor as well, and I like to look at the body from a holistic perspective, which means that normally when we go into the doctor, we have a symptom, maybe we get diagnosed with a disease or condition, and most of the time our options are a drug or surgery, something to really directly address that issue. And while that's really important, our body didn't just get that way overnight. It slowly developed in most conditions. And so I like to look at where did your body start to deviate? Where did it start to go down the wrong track? And use things like diet, lifestyle, mind, body, chiropractic to get it back on track. So that's a little bit about how I work, what I do. So today, ask any questions you might have about, I'm looking at the board that's posted up in front of me. If you have any questions on toxins or detox, post them, I'll try and answer them. If not, I want to go through a couple different things that I like to take my patients through. So when we talk about toxins in our body, the three things we want to focus on is decreasing our exposure, knowing your levels, what's high in your body, where you specifically need to look at, and then how do you eliminate those toxins. So if we were to talk about decreasing exposure, the 5 main areas that you want to think about is the air that you breathe, where you sleep, food, what's going into your body, what are you drinking, and what's going on to your skin. So the air is such an overlooked area for toxins. People forget about it all the time. And it's something that's going into our body every single minute, every single second of every single day. And so we know that our air is polluted. Actually, one of the positives to COVID right now, with everyone staying and sheltering in place, is that we've seen a big decrease in our air quality and in our global emissions. The air quality has really improved all over the world, which is amazing. Our earth is getting a little break, and so are our lungs. But on a day-to-day basis, when we come out of shelter in place and we start to go back, and the emissions will likely go back up, looking at ways to filter your air. So if you're in an office, if you're at home, you can buy air filters to filter your air and really decrease that exposure. And there's 2 types of filters. There's HEPA filters, which focus more on removing pollen and dust in larger molecules. And then there are other filters that will move chemicals and toxins and bacteria and things like that. So something like an IQ Air or a molecule will remove some of those and other environmental toxins. They also have filters you can get for your car. You can plug them right in, to the port, and they can clip onto your car and actually filter the air in your car as well. So for those of you who are commuting all the time, diesel fuel, when we test on patients in labs, diesel fuel is huge as a environmental toxin that comes up on people's bodies. Just checking in, seeing if I have any questions yet. Nothing. So air is a big one. The next one is sleep. And hopefully everyone is getting, at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep every night. It's probably the time where you're most stationary in your home. And our mattresses are coated with fire retardants. Almost every mattress is coated with fire retardants, and we know that fire retardants have a huge impact on our hormones. And when you're sleeping on them day after day after day, it has an impact on our body. Often these toxins are not, they're not like an acute issue. It's not like all of a sudden you sleep on your mattress and you feel sick. It's an accumulation factor. So everything that we're talking about is to decrease exposure over time so that you just feel healthier day after day instead of slowly feeling more fatigued or tired or sick. So there are places, I've heard that Avocado Mattress has great customer service. If you live here in Thousand Oaks, there's a local mattress place that sells organic mattresses called Snooze Mattress. If you're in LA, there's a place called Green Cradle. But keeping the mattresses clean from toxins means that as you're lying in bed, those toxins aren't being released. It's called off-gassing. And they get released into the air, and then you breathe that air all throughout the night. And so again, it adds to that overall burden. As far as food probably the next big thing that we have going into our systems. And our food has a lot of pesticides on it, and pesticides do a couple things. They're great for farmers because they decrease pests and bugs and stuff eating our food before it gets to our table. But the problem is that it then goes into our body. So what gets sprayed on the vegetables that will prevent little bugs and stuff from coming and eating it, it gets rid of the bugs by often being a neurotoxin or a poison to the insect. But when it goes into our body, it acts as a low-grade neurotoxin and poison to us. And again, one little bit is not a big deal, but when we have it day after day after day, that really has a huge effect on our body. And in our gut, it actually can kill off some of the good bacteria in our gut. It can make our gut permeable. We call it leaky gut, which can increase inflammation. So if you haven't checked out Environmental Working Group, they have lots of great resources. And one of the things they have out right now is something called Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen. And so Clean 15 are the cleanest vegetables that you can get non-organic. So things like avocado and sweet corn and pineapple and onions. They're mostly things that naturally have a skin or a shell to them, and that is what you're going to peel away and not eat. So if it has pesticides on it, it's not that big of a deal. They also have their Dirty Dozen, and it changes every year, and it's the 12 fruits and vegetables that if you're gonna buy organic, those are the ones that you definitely want to buy organic. And strawberries are always number one. Every single year, strawberries are number one. We're here in Thousand Oaks, and right over the hill is Camarillo, where there's lots of farming, lots of strawberries, and you can drive by the freeway and see people wearing hazmat suits, those white suits with the hood and the mask and everything, and they're spraying the strawberry fields with pesticides. And I often think to myself, if they need to wear a hazmat suit to protect themselves, but they're spraying this chemical on the food that we're going to eat, there seems to be a little bit of a disconnect. You know, why is that okay? So strawberries are always number one. Spinach is a big one. Apples, nectarines are on that list as well. So if you go to Environmental Working Group, ewg.org, they have that list, which is a great resource. Water is also a big thing that we're hopefully consuming lots of every day. Water is so important because it's going to flush those toxins from our bodies, and but water can be contaminated as well. We had fish for a while at our house, and our where we would purchase our fish products and supplies, the guy told us, hey, we have to dechlorinate the water for the fish or they'll die. And I thought, wait, just our tap water, we have to put these dechlorination pills in it so the fish don't die? He's like, oh yeah, absolutely, the chlorine will kill the fish. But same goes for our body if we're drinking that tap water. So filtering your water is another really important thing. And last on my list is your skin. So your skin's actually an organ. it absorbs so much that goes into your body. If you've ever taken a medication like a patch, that you know that medication can get transferred from your skin. Also, if you've ever done like a cortisone cream or anything like that, we know that anything we put on the skin really has a chance to get absorbed into the body. And our cosmetics, our skincare products, our sunscreens, our lotions, our soaps, our shampoos, all of that gets absorbed into the body. And right now, there's not a lot of regulation on cosmetics and skincare products as far as what chemicals are safe or not. So looking for products that are safer is always a really good thing. So those are my top 5 for trying to look at your exposure. And I always say just start with one. Try day after day. It's not a race. If you can pick one thing every now and then, especially getting inspired by it being Earth Day this week, not only do you help your body, but you're also helping keep these chemicals out of the environment for the Earth. Because if you don't purchase them, then they're not getting washed down the drains. They're not getting put into our landfills as well. So anyone have any questions or have like a product that they're looking for, or curious about symptoms that are involved with toxins? So we'll keep looking, see if anyone has any questions. So number 3 on my list, so we talked about decreasing exposure. Number 2 is actually to know your levels. So many people don't realize we have the ability to test what toxins you have accumulated in your body. So everyone has a different ability to detox, and part of it is based on your genetics. Some people have enzymes that are better at detoxing, and also your exposure. What has your life been like? Have you lived in a city? Have you lived out on the farm? Do you drive a lot? Do you commute a lot? Do you eat a lot of processed foods? Decreasing your exposure is big, but also knowing your levels. So we can test 2 things. We can actually test for different chemicals and metals and see what your levels are in your body so that we know what you need to focus on. And a new emerging field is actually looking and testing to see if you have an immune reaction to certain chemicals. So some people, for example, with mercury may not have a high amount of mercury in the body, but their immune system treats it like a foreign invader, like a bacteria, like a virus, and they react to it. So it doesn't always mean that you have to have a lot of metal, have a lot of toxins in your body. If you just have immune reaction to it, that can also have an impact. So we have a question coming in. Do you have a skincare cosmetic brand you recommend? I look into many and none seem to check all the boxes. There, Alma, there's actually a company called, I'm gonna lose the name off the top of my head. I think it's the Detox Market, has a lot of good recommendations. Also, if you go to that environmentalworkinggroup.org, they have a whole resource called Skin Deep, and it's actually an app you can download on your phone, and you scan the barcode on the back of the cosmetic or the sunscreen or the product, and it will rate it from 0 to 10, 0 being no known environmental toxins, carcinogenic compounds, and 10 being like really bad, just definitely known to cause some sort of harm. So that's always a place to start. You can look at your own cosmetics. You might be surprised. Some might be really great that you already have, and others you may not think that, gosh, this one I probably should swap out right away. It's at a 10. So we talked about decreasing your exposure. We talked about testing to know your levels. What are you high in? Where should you primarily focus on to decrease those levels? And then also, let's talk about how to eliminate toxins from your body. So I know we have a lot of sports people on here. This is so important for you. Toxins work by impacting enzyme, decreasing energy, and as an athlete, every edge you have, you need your body on, you need it decreasing energy, you need it working at its optimal level at all times. So every little edge you can do to help increased energy, recover faster is important. So athletes, this is huge for. The other group that's really important for are our kids. I wrote an article, oh gosh, this is going to date me, back in 2007 for Topanga magazine, and it's entitled "Environmental Toxins: Are Your Children Safe?" And I think at the time I had hoped we'd be further along now than we are as far as our environment and toxins in our everyday food and products. But the reality is that the National Academy of Sciences found that children are 10 times more impacted by toxins, because pound for pound for their body weight, they're having more water, they're eating more food, they're touching things, they're on the ground, they're closer to these surfaces that have toxins. And so really looking at this, if you've got kids on here, this is a really important place to help for your kids, because they're also growing at a rapid rate. They need all these nutrients and chemicals out of their system. So how do we eliminate toxins? We were trying to decrease our exposure. We're figuring out our levels. What have we been previously exposed to? But how do we actually get toxins out of our body? And so number one is sweating. There is nothing better than to move your body, drink lots of water, move your lymphatics, and sweat. We actually will find, when I'm testing patients, I've done husband-wife teams where the husband sweats a lot or the wife sweats a lot, and they've had a lot of the same exposures. They live together, they're in the same environment, but the person that's not getting out and exercising and sweating will keep those toxins in their body longer. So tune in to do some of our workout that we're posting here at Mamba, and get a sweat going. Drink lots of water and sweat them out. So the body will eliminate toxins through your liver, and then through your sweat, through your urine, and through your stool. So water-soluble toxins, things that can be diluted by water, will go through your sweat and through your urine. And fat-soluble toxins will get eliminated through the stool. And the three main things that your body needs to actually detox, and what detox means is it takes those nasty compounds and it breaks it down into pieces that are harmless, so that your body can flush out. And number one is you need to have a stable blood sugar. If you have too much sugar or you skip meals, your body will not have a stable glucose to be able to start the actual detox process in the liver. Number two is there are certain vitamin cofactors that you need to be able to detox, and glutathione and your B vitamins are top. So I always say that detox is like a funnel. A bunch of stuff comes into the top of the funnel, and we call that phase 1 detox. And there are lots of natural products, milk thistle, dandelion, that juice cleanses that people will do, and they all promote phase 1 detox, which is awesome. It's taking these toxins from your tissue and pulling it into this funnel. And then you go through phase 2, which is, like I always say, the skinny part of the funnel. And in order to push things out the skinny part of the funnel and out of your body, you need glutathione and B vitamins and stable glucose. So those are the three most important. And oftentimes people will say, gosh, I did a detox and I felt terrible. Like, I felt awful. I did a juice cleanse, I did this supplement detox, and I felt awful. And I go, oh no, that is not ever the goal in detox, to feel awful. So as an example, think about how this works. If you were to drink alcohol, say you overdid, had too much wine, all of that wine, it's a toxin, essentially. It comes into the top of the funnel, and then your body has to process it out. And if too much comes into the top of the funnel and your body can't keep up, the funnel overflows, you don't get it out, and you feel bad. So no one ever says, I drank too much last night, boy, that was a great detox. No, it didn't get out of your body, that's why you felt bad. That's not ever the goal. So if you're gonna detox at home, even through juice cleanses, even stuff that's like totally natural and healthy, you have to tune into how you feel. If you feel headachy, sick, nauseous, fatigued, you're detoxing too fast, too much is coming into the top of the funnel, you want to take a step back, maybe get some more B vitamins or glutathione in your diet, drink more water, give yourself a day break, and then start up again. And so that's my last point. Slow and steady wins the race for detox. It is a marathon, not a sprint. Unfortunately, we are exposed to millions of chemicals every day. And the goal is to try and stay on top of it to help your body flush these chemicals out naturally. With the body, if it can't get it out, it will often store it as fat. So if you're having trouble losing weight and you feel like your body's just holding on to fat, looking at detoxing is a really good place to start. As you start to mobilize those toxins, your body will shed fat more easily because it won't need to keep the toxins away from vital organs. So I hope, I'm not seeing any more questions. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was an inspiration for Earth Day coming up on Wednesday to do some things for our planet, but also to do some things for yourself to increase the toxin load on your body. So thank you for joining. If you have any more questions, you can post them and I'll try and answer them later.
That was awesome.